Greetings to you. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday evening for the Tuesday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. We're going to take you through all the things happening in the amazing, fast-paced world of sports, in the world of football. Things happening every second. Managers changing clubs, players moving around, in spite of the fact that two big tournaments are in front of us. We'll start in a matter of days, talking about Copa America and, of course, the Euros. We'll be talking about that as we move on the show. We'll continue on the show with our countdown to the Tokyo Olympics. We'll try to look at Team Nigeria's performance, what we expect to be Team Nigeria's performance at Tokyo Olympics, and a lot more for you. We'll also talk about the Super Eagles as they prepare to face the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon in an international friendly. We'll tell you the number of players that have arrived in camp. We'll do that for you as we move on the show. That's the outlook of the show. We'll also talk football transfers. Not only managers, the players are involved as well. All right, let me take a breather and bring you into all that we're doing on the show tonight. This is how you can be a part of the show, just in case you're watching us for the first time and you're interested. You want to say something, say it this way. Get across to us, send us a mail, get across to us. Comment on our Facebook page, and you can also tweet at us. You can also tweet at us what you have on your screen at channels_sports. Let's know how you feel. Drop your comments. Channels Ivan Sports. Send us a mail, sportstonight@channelstv.com. If you do all that, you will be able to be a part of the show tonight. You will be able to speak up and be heard across the globe, because we're global, we're international. Of course, that's the way it is. Let's move on quickly and talk about the things that I want to highlight on the show. At some point, I'll be joined by my partners on the show for the very first segment of the show tonight. We'll talk athletics. We'll take a look at Team Nigeria's likely what could be the outcome of our showing at the Tokyo Olympics. At some point, I will be joined by Austin Okon-Akwen. We'll talk about football, talk about sports. And of course, we have a special guest lined up for you, someone you would love to meet, someone who I feel is a trailblazer, someone who happens to be a person who is leading the pack, opening the way for a lot of young athletes in a sport Nigeria is not really known for. But to start the show tonight, let's talk about something that has become a major concern for a lot of people, something that a lot of people are beginning to pay attention to. Of course, the desire to retain the capacity to carry out daily activities without undue fatigue has made people to start setting fitness goals. And how do they do this? They do this by either taking up exercises or sports-oriented, health programs, sports-oriented physical activities. And so this report you're about to see takes a look at the importance of setting and achieving fitness goals.
All over the world, fitness buffs troop out in their large numbers on weekends to exercise and have fun with friends and family. This roadside in Isolo, a suburb of Lagos where people gather for the purpose of fitness, is no exception. The World Health Organization recommends that adults aged between 18 and 64 should do at least 150 to 300 minutes of moderate or intensive aerobic physical activity. Concerns about varying degrees of health issues have made many to set fitness goals.
Before I came here, I had issues of, for example, in my house, I find it difficult even to climb my staircase. A story building staircase, I'll be panting as if I'm going to die in the next minute.
To keep myself fit, to stay young and healthy, and my blood pressure, to keep my fitness. That's all, just to keep myself strong and be fit in everything.
Well, before I came, I was big. I was a very big size, 160 precisely. So then my tummy was big, I was shapeless. So I knew If I didn't do anything about it, I'm going to die.
Just to keep fit, as we progress in age, at least there's need to always keep fit so that you will stay away from hospital.
Fitness experts help measure progress and dispel some notions about requirements of keeping fit.
It doesn't cost any money to stay fit. It's something you can start on your own, and if you feel like, okay, maybe you're not enjoying it on your own, you can look for a place or gather some of your friends, you go out and exercise, just like what we do here. We started with a very few number of people. Started with them, but now, as you can see today, we have a lot of people coming out.
You don't need money, or you don't need expensive gym machine or other things for you to keep fit. You don't need it at all.
It's important to have fun while you're working out with sound, because it enables some people to have that endurance to train more. Music actually motivates a lot of people. When they're hearing the music, maybe they're getting tired and the DJ play the kind of song that they love, their kind of music, they try to push themselves. Let me meet up, this is my song, you understand? So the fun is there, aside from the training.
One thing is certain. Achieving fitness goals will indeed have immediate and long-term health benefits for everyone who indulges in it.
All right, welcome back. Okay, Bamba Akoni joins us on the show tonight. Greetings to you, Bamba. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me, Yemi, as always.
All right. Smiles on my face because I know I probably should be doing what those guys are doing, and I know I have to start taking some things seriously. But why do you think all of a sudden people are beginning to pay attention to things like fitness? There's a lot of talk about the mental health benefits, social benefits of, sports, and in this case, exercises and physical activity.
I think it's great to see Nigeria and Lagos getting on that global trend of exercise and physical activity. They're really, really important, like you mentioned, for health benefits. As you know, Nigeria, we've historically had a very low life expectancy. And this is one of the things that's going to make our population healthier and extend life expectancy in Nigeria. But what's interesting that people tend not to think about is that actually being physically fit in your own personal, professional life can actually help you very much like it helps professional athletes. I'll give an example. There was a chess master, Jamaican-American chess master, Maurice Ashley. He talks about how the chess players even have to be very physically fit to withstand the hours of thinking. So it's really, really important when you see that even chess players need to be physically fit. You start realizing the gains that anyone in their professional life can have from being physically fit. It also helps to refresh the mind.
For that, like I said, I begin to take a lot of things seriously now. Now that I know the benefits. All right, Bamba, let's talk about what's happening. Let's talk about the Olympics. We'll start with a countdown. We'll talk about the stories from Japan. All right, so officially, it's 53 days to go. 53 days to go. It's less than 2 months now. And, of course, you're going to see it on the screen. That's it, 53 days to go as we continue with the countdown. As my usual practice on the show, Bamba, I'm going to ask you, are you feeling the vibes now? 53 days to go. Does it feel like? I know we're going to have the Olympics. The coast is clear that we're going to have it. But does it feel like? Is it in the air?
I definitely feel it. It's definitely in the air. If you look from Nigeria's perspective, our athletes are in the best shape. I think this is the best generation of athletes we've had since Atlanta 96. And I've been a proponent of saying that Nigeria can win 5 medals at this Olympics. I still maintain that. When you look at some of the performances that our athletes are churning out all over the world, just this past weekend, Ese Brume jumped the furthest an African has ever jumped, 717, breaking Choma Juma's 25-year-old African long jump record from the Atlanta 96 Olympics, where she won gold. So if you're looking at Esebrume alone, you can already say she's a gold medal contender in Tokyo. We knew that already, and she's beginning to show that. And there are a lot of other athletes who will be in medal-winning positions come Tokyo in July, August.
You know, I wanted to go in another direction, but since you brought up Ese, so let me stick with Ese for a while. And you'd think if she takes that kind of leap at the Olympics, it's going to be a medal-winning leap?
Well, 717 definitely will win a medal. What color of medal it wins still remains to be seen. It is the furthest jump in the world this year, so she's the furthest jumper in the world this year. But the lady from Germany, she jumped, the world champion, she jumped 730 last year, I think. And 730 should be enough to win gold. But what really is working in Esebrume's favor is that, remember 25 years ago when Choma Juma won the gold with 712, it came out of nowhere. She didn't have any jump before the Olympics that suggested she would jump 712. And it was enough on her first jump to win the gold. So 717, really, I'd be surprised if that takes home anything less than silver. But let's just hope that she remains injury-free and healthy. And let's hope she can go even further at the Olympics.
All right. So I'm also going to ask you, aside Esebrume, you've talked about a couple of them before, but, you know, with the benefit of hindsight, having seen the preparation of some of them now, which one of them would you put in that same zone and say, this surely is a medal prospect? Don't talk about Blessing, because Blessing is always a medal prospect, but the others.
Yes, you know, I think Tobiamushon is the second person. I think if you had to choose two people that will win medals, it's Brume and Tobiamushon. She came fourth in the World Championships in Doha. She's already around 12:48 this year, which is equaling her personal best. And that's really already in the medal territory for the Olympics. So let's also hope she can remain healthy and go a step further and get on the medal roster. At least the bronze, but you know, once you get into the final, anything is possible. If you recall, the only hurdler in Nigeria's history that has won a medal at the Olympics is Gloria Lotze. I'm proud to say she's the coach at Making of Champions now, bringing up the younger ones. And she, you know, her African record is at threat from Tobiamushon, 12:44. She ran 3 times. But interestingly, when she won silver at the Olympics, she ran, I think, 12:66. So, you know, Toby is definitely in a medal contention for the Olympics. And let's hope that she and Ese can come back with gold medals. As you mentioned, Blessing Kagberi is always going to be in the conversation. Divine Oduduru is also going to be in the conversation, especially in the 200 meters. Let's see what the others can come up with. Favor Fili, we have to mention Favor Fili right now. She's just run 22:30 in the NCAA. She did it with windy initially. Now she's done it again with the legal wind. I think Favor Fili is one athlete to watch. You know, if she can keep this form to the Olympics, she could be in the final of the 200 meters.
Yeah, the last time we were here, Bamba, you were updating us on the relays and, you know, all the drama. A lot of people are beginning to lose hope and being despondent. But what was the update? We've had to put ourselves in a situation where we try to get in through the back door. But so far, what's the update?
Well, the update is that we're still trying to open the back door. You know, the keys, I think we are still looking for the keys even for the back door. You know, the athletes have come back from the US trip. I think they were able to run the men and women's 4x1. They were able to run the mixed 4x4. It's only the women's 4x1 that is currently in a qualifying position for the Olympics. They are in the 16th position out of 16 with 43.05 that they ran in Doha in 2019. Incidentally, they ran 43.06 in America just a week ago. So that's encouraging that they were able to do that even without Blessing Kagberi. But you know, the keys to this back door, I think, are going to be opened at the African Championships, which is now happening in Lagos. We're very fortunate. I think that the Lagos State Sports Commission Chairman Uche Eke and then also the Sports Minister Sunday Dare have been able to bring this championship to Lagos after Algeria pulled out a couple of weeks ago. The 4 relays will definitely be at the championship, the traditional 4 relays, men and women's 4x1 and 4x4. And we're hoping that they would also add the mixed 4x4 to the African Championships for the first time as a qualifier for the Olympics. Now, that event is happening 23rd to 27th in Lagos. The Olympic qualification deadline is 29th of June. So it's really, really the last chance. And I think with Nigeria's full complement on ground, I believe they'll qualify in all the 5 relays. Really, Nigeria can be a medal contender in at least 3 or 4 of those relays with the quality of athletes we have all over the world.
Let's go global now. Before we go to Japan, as you know, I could remember a couple of previous Olympic Games where there were some people, even before the games, they were the star, they were the attraction. Usain Bolt, I mean, a couple of Olympics passed, apart from Beijing, where a lot of us didn't know what to expect from him. But for the other ones, he was the guy that was the man to beat, and he didn't disappoint when the big day came. So going into this Olympics, which athletes do you put into that category? And I have a feeling that these are the ones for the big occasion, and they're likely not going to disappoint.
Oh, wow. I think it's so difficult to say. You know, the pandemic has really, you know, put a mask over a lot of things. We can't see the true preparation of a lot of athletes, although some are really running very, very well now. I think the U.S. particularly would dominate in the track and field. You have the likes of Trayvon Bromell. You have the collegiates who are running incredible times right now. A lady called Athing Moose has run 49 seconds in the 400 meters. And there's a couple of 17-year-olds. 17-year-old just broke Usain Bolt's under 18 world record in 200 meters, running 20.11. So we'll be looking at the U.S. Olympic trials to see who even makes the team, right? Whoever makes the team, I think there will be strong contenders for gold at the Olympics, as always. Beyond the U.S., I mean, you're looking at the Jamaicans. Can they recover from, you know, the gap that Usain Bolt has left? I have to say that in a lot of the events, especially on the men's side, they're not recovering yet. But for the women, you still see Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price probably wanting to go for another medal. You see Elaine Thompson. So, you know, the U.S. and the Jamaicans will be there as always. But it's really difficult to say this one athlete or this particular athlete is going to be the star of this upcoming Olympics. Let's see how it goes.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. And finally, before we let you go, are you bothered or are you satisfied with the plans of the IOC in spite of the rising number of cases? The IOC is saying, look, we have this thing locked. Our plans are set in motion. You guys have nothing to worry. We also hear that the Tokyo Park is going to become the Olympic vaccination center. The IOC is telling people in Japan, don't worry about the athletes. Worry about your population. Deal with that. But as for the people that will come, we'll take care of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing a lot. I think the level of preparation is unprecedented from the IOC. Obviously, they have to work against negative public sentiment in Japan surrounding the Olympics, and we're hoping that they can get through that to put up a successful event. I mean, just to give you an idea of how sophisticated their operation is, you know, at Making of Champions, we even have accredited journalist who's preparing for the Olympics, and the level of COVID precautions and guidelines that they put in there. They even have to have, I think, a COVID enforcer in Japan.
All right.
That makes sure everything is going well. I mean, it's. Okay. I think they're doing the best that they can, considering the circumstances.
All right, I agree with you on everything you've said. Bamba Kone, I want to thank you for your time. Always a delight having you on the show. Hopefully, we get to do this another time.
Thank you, and hopefully Nigeria can get those 5 medals plus at this Olympics. I still believe. Let's go get it.
Yeah, trust me, I'll ask you when the time comes. Thank you once again, Bambo.
Yeah.
We need to go. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, Austin Okona Akpan will join me, and of course, the special guest. Of course, I won't let the cat out of the bag just yet. Will also be joining me. We're talking sports all the way. But let's go on that break. We'll return for more sports tonight. All right, welcome back from that break. Let's move ahead on the show, and with a smile on my face and a lot of delight. Of course, let me introduce the guy that I'm going to be having a chat with. I called him a trailblazer earlier. You know, somebody who's become a leading light. Uche Eke joins us on the show tonight. Greetings to you, Uche. Thanks for taking our time to be with us on the show tonight.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
All right. Yeah, first, I want to congratulate you for some of the recent success you've had and the fact that you're putting Nigeria on the map for the very right reasons.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's like really wanted to do this my whole life. It's been a dream since a little kid, so I'm really happy for this dream to turn into a reality.
All right. I mean, we have to start from the beginning. Gymnastics. Some will tell you without even thinking about it, no, that's not a Nigerian thing. So why gymnastics?
So ever since the age of 3, I had a babysitter, and my best friend Kevin and I would just bounce on her trampoline. She was our neighbor. And then he did a backflip, and so I thought it was really cool, and he taught me how to do it. So from there, I learned a backflip at, I believe, 3.5 years old, and before I turned 4, I tried doing it off of my couch, and my mom caught me doing a backflip and landing on my head several times, and I just wouldn't stop. So she said, well, Uche, if you won't stop, then the least I can do is help you properly learn how to flip. So from there, she enrolled me into gymnastics, and that's where the whole journey started.
Okay, all right. So what individual, what athletes inspired you? Because I know there will be times you would have thought, am I taking the right decision? What's going here? But are there people at one point that you looked up to, people you wanted to be like, people who gave you that feeling that if this guy could do it, I definitely at some point will be able to do this?
Well, so it was not like, it wasn't a specific athlete that inspired me. It was more of just going off of just pure motivation and support. Like my brother, he quit football so that I can continue doing the sport of my choice, which is gymnastics, that I love so much. And so like he had that conversation with me saying, Uche, like I'm quitting this sport for you, so you can't ever quit. So I told him, looked him in the eye, said, I'll take this to the top for you. And I was around 7 or 8 years old when that happened. And the reason why he had to quit his sport was because it was getting too hard for our parents to take us to practice, him football practice, me gymnastics during the Hurricane Katrina, because we have a lot of family from New Orleans, Louisiana, and they all had to move in and stay with us. So only one of us could pursue our dreams, and he left the throne to me. So I just running off that, I can't quit. I have to turn my dream into a reality.
It turned out well. Eventually it did. I mean, how did you feel when you were able to qualify for the Olympics? What feeling did you have?
I was so excited. At first I didn't believe it was true, and I'm still in disbelief now. But like all my friends, they're telling me I can do it, and the fact that I finally did it, it's just I'm so excited. I looked at the president of the Nigerian Gymnastics Federation. He was there, right there, looking at me, and he was just so happy and proud, and like, oh, it was just an amazing experience.
All right, you've met with a lot of people who've promised to help you, Sports Minister Sunday Dare, a lot of people, and now you can look back and see that a lot of Nigerians are supporting you. So how is that for motivation?
It's like the more the merrier. So that's why I'm even on here right now. Like, I'm looking for more and more support, because the more and more people that say you can do something and support you and follow you and help chase your dreams on top of your self-motivation, that's what leads to success. So even throughout my times and high school, so like under age 18, I've had some friends who are really close by and told me that to keep chasing your dreams. And then I had some people who thought I was joking the whole time. So it's just a big shout out and thank you to everyone who's just supported me from a little kid. You know, I've been saying that I wanted to do this, and I really meant it clearly. So I'm just really happy that it all worked out.
All right. Let's talk about the Olympics now. That's huge. That's big. Are you setting any personal targets? I mean, for some of us, that Nigeria's flag, Nigeria's name, the name of the country will be mentioned in gymnastics, that's it for us. But here you are, you're going to be there. Any personal targets? I've heard a lot of, one or two things attributed to you, but like they say, I like to hear it from the horse's mouth. Do you have any targets, or is it medals, or you just want to see it? Let's see how it goes.
So, just like my journey to the Olympics, everyone was asking me, oh, you're going to go and bring home the Olympic gold medal, right? Like, that's your goal? That's your goal? Of course, that's my goal. But there's sub-goals that must be reached before that goal. You can't just have your ultimate goal in mind and expect that. You have to do stuff that leads up to it. So my answer to the questions evolving around, oh, you're going to bring home an Olympic gold. First, I had to qualify to the Olympics. So now that's done. Now the next step in order to reach that Olympic gold is to make finals. So my goal right now is to go to Tokyo, Japan, and in one of my events out of the 6 that I do, or hopefully more, of course, but in at least one of those events, I hope to make it to top 8, which puts me in the finals position. And if I make finals, then that's when I'll be chasing that gold medal, because anything can happen at finals. But the hardest part is to get to finals. So.
All right. Uche Eke, we wish you all the best. Of course, we'll be following you. Everyone's taking you seriously now, trust me. I want to thank you for your time on the show tonight. Hopefully we'll get to do this again some other time.
Thank you so much. And you already know.
All right, that's Nigerian gymnast, of course, history maker. Is qualified for the Olympics, and he will be representing Nigeria. I wish him all the best. All right, let's move on the show. My colleague Austin Okon-Akpan joins me now as we continue with the rest of the show. It's going to be football all the way. Greetings to you, Austin. Thanks for finding out time to be with us tonight.
What's great is good to be on the show, and of course, the cherry news coming for Team Nigeria. Ese Brume and their record-breaking performance. Now Uche Eke qualifying the country to participate in gymnastics. I'm sure not like gymnastics, but after hearing his story, it's a beautiful one, and it will get sweeter if he gets to the Olympics and makes it to the podium.
All right, it will. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. In about 3 days, they will be playing a friendly against the domitable Lions of Cameroon, and players have started arriving in camp. We have a list of some of them that have arrived. Austin, let me quickly read out those names, and we'll talk some more about that. Super Eagles players in camp right there on your screen: Maduka Okoye, Francis Uzo, John Noble, William Troost Ekong, Alex Iwobi, Shehu Abdullahi, Wilfred Ndidi, Kelechi Iheanacho, Chidozie Awaziem, Jamilu Collins, Ogenekaro Etaibo, Valentine Ozonwafo, Anayo Iwala, Abraham Marcus, Terem Murphy, Peter Olayinka, and Samson Tijani. These are some of the players that have arrived in camp. Also, let me come to you quickly. I know it's a friendly, but that friendly is against rivals Cameroon. Of course, they've won more African Cup of Nations trophy than Nigeria, but some of us are still a little bitter because I think 2 or 3 of those times that they've won defeating Nigeria. So any victory over Cameroon, I'll take it, even if it's a friendly. I don't know about you, but I'm very sure that's the way a lot of people see it.
Because I'm a Nigerian and I remember those painful losses to Cameroon, and so any friendly match against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, we need to take it seriously, and that's why I was asking a lot of questions when some players were pulling out of this friendly. Like, don't they know the magnitude of this friendly match? It's Cameroon. It's a good way to, continue to build around this team to sustain the momentum that they have already. And yes, to give the new players an opportunity to play with, some of the old guys. But after looking through the list of some of the players who are already in Austria, then it's still a good team. I listened to Coach Gernot Ross saying that this provides an opportunity for him to test new players and put new faces to the followers of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He must do that, because time and time again, we've questioned Coach Gernot inviting persons and then they don't get an opportunity to play. So he said he has 20 in camp. Ahmed Musa will join tomorrow. The Cameroonians, they have 26, so hopefully there won't be any form of injuries to Coach Gernot's team. Let's see what Abraham Marcus is all about. He invited him. Let's watch him. Samson Tijani is a good prospect. Can we see him play some more? John Noble has been in good form for Eimba. If you tell him to come to the national team, give him an opportunity to cap for his country. Anayo Iwala is somebody who the fans are beginning to love now. And he's been showing that he can play good football. Let us see more of him. So, yes, it's Cameroon. It will be good to see those top players come out there. But if he says that this is an opportunity to see new players, then we should see new players. But I'm super confident with the vibes going on now in the Super Eagles. I saw them in their team bus, Kelechi Iheanacho leading those praise and worship. Wilfred Ndidi, I saw the way he was tapping the ball around. So this is Nigeria. This is the Super Eagles. When they fight out, you know what it is. The fans want them to win.
Yeah, I guess I'll let it rest. You read my mind because I was going to ask you, and you've said it. I mean, no need to add anything. If you're going to invite players, let's really see how good they are. I mean, in goalkeeping position, it appears like the coach has made up his mind as to who is his number one. So if you've already made your mind as to who is number one, let's see the others. And if you've invited somebody, let's see them play. But of course, we'll get more updates from the Super Eagles as the day goes by. And hopefully we'll be able to have a strong squad to take on the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. And I'm hoping that the friendly will achieve the purpose for which it is to be played. All right, Austin, let's move on and talk about what's going to happen in about 10 days from now. That's the European Championships. Of course, I'm still feeling the effect of COVID-19. It was supposed to be 2020, but it's 2021. So let's look at Group A, Austin. Italy, Turkey, Switzerland, and Wales. Those are the teams in Group A. Of course, in the first game, Italy will take on Turkey. Switzerland will take on Wales. And some will say, but it's not always so, some will say probably the strongest team in that group is Italy. And so maybe Italy and another country. But I don't know what you say.
Yeah, but it's football, and Turkey gave us something to talk about this year when they defeated the Netherlands. So be careful, be careful. Football knows the way to just say shut up when you think you know what you're talking about. The Swiss team is also a decent team. Every now and then they show some sparks of brilliance, and they've got some decent players also. Underrate Wales at your peril. In fact, when this draw was done, I said to myself that this is a tricky group, a very tricky group. For instance, let's say Italy and Turkey opens up and they play a draw. Right away, that group is open and everybody will start chasing qualification from it. So very tricky. Decent teams in Group A, and I can't even just jump up now and say the Italians will qualify. It's football, you hear me?
Let's talk about Italy a little. Roberto Mancini appears like he stabilized the team. It appears like a couple of young players have been able to get into the team, and the hangover before Mancini came, it seems it's left. But can we begin to expect what you normally expect from an Italian team from this current Azzurri squad?
I think we need to give them some time. It's about blend. You know what, we just talk about the Italian team. It's not about the flair that they used to play. It's like a brotherhood. They come out there and they know themselves. They're ready to fight. And that's actually the hallmark of every good team. So Mancini is doing a good job. I'm sure what he's trying to do is to build around some good team bonding. They get to understand themselves. You can't take away the quality from the Italian side, but the way football changes is, some of the shocks we saw in club football, we're going to see more of that with, national engagements. Trust me, because a lot of things have been shuffled. Some players need to, try and get away from this season that just ended. For instance, if you play for Real Madrid, you struggle to understand how Real Madrid didn't get to win a trophy for the first time in 11 seasons. If you play for Man City, you struggle to understand how you lost that final to Chelsea. So football is tight. 90% of it is played in the brain. So for Italy and Mancini, it is to get a squad, they'll get to love themselves, understand themselves, and go out to play football. That's what the French team is enjoying. So when you're able to do that as a team, then when you don't win, persons just come out and say that this team was unfortunate.
All right. Most of the matches in Group A will be played in the city of Baku and Italian city of Rome. On everybody's book, or most people, they would probably say the weakest team in that group is Wales. Is that your opinion as well?
No. It's not my opinion. And what I know of European football, Wales is a potential banana peel skin team. So they're the sort of team that they understand that when you put them together with the big guys, immediately the bookmakers just write them off. So no, I would never ever write away Wales. And they've given us some stunning results also this year, and even in the Euro Championship. So nobody will come out and just say that lose. No. In fact, I rate Wales higher than Turkey, So no, not now. I just feel we've not played enough national team football from last year to the beginning of this year to be able to judge some countries and what they have. So it will not be wise to just jump at just names that you know. If you want to just call it names, you would never imagine that Turkey will beat the Netherlands. That's Holland, that's the Orange Boys. That's where, the country that's produced a lot of football stars. So Turkey just jumps up and then stuns them. But that's what football can do. So with Wales and their exposure to English football and some of the influences that they have, don't forget they've got good counsel from the likes of Giggs. They also have Gareth Bale. And look, some other players that just want to go out there and prove to persons that there are no pushovers. So yes, I stand by it that Wales is a team that can stun persons and can make it out of that Group A.
All right. We'll see. 10 days is not far from now, so we'll see if Austin's assertion turns out to be true. Let's talk about England, but we're about to go on a break. Let's talk about England, the team announcement. Okay, we need to go on a break right about now. When we come back from that break, straight away, we'll take a look at how England made that announcement. And, of course, we'll be back to wrap things up on the show. All right, like I said, Austin with me. Austin is your backyard. Any surprises? And I knew he was going to pick those 4 guys. And he said it. Look, you see 4 right backs. I see 4 very good players.
That's a valid point, Yemi, you know, and it goes to tell you now that footballers understand what it means for them to be versatile, because he just explained to you that sometimes you see this person play right back, other times he's playing central midfield role, or he's going forward as a winger. You know, a lot of persons are still even arguing that Bukayo Saka is a defender, and in my head, all I see in Bukayo Saka is an offensive player. So Gareth Bale, it's difficult, very difficult, I mean, and that's why I want the Nigerian football fans to learn from this, you know, because we also suffer this thing. Why did they drop this player? Why did you pick so and so? A coach will only work with players that he is comfortable to work with. He just explained to you that he wants to play 9 matches, and every good coach goes into a competition to win. So you must be able to take risk that you have calculated. And that's what he did. For instance, I won't drop Jesse Lingard. You mean, would you drop Jesse Lingard? With the season he had with West Ham?
Well, of course I wouldn't, but yeah.
But if you look at the squad, Gareth Bale would have struggled to find a place to fix him. I've got a little bit of bias for Mason Greenwood, because I also think that he's a fantastic player, but he also didn't make the squad. But that's football for you. So here's the coach. He has picked his team. So whatever happens with the team, it's action and consequence. But I think this is a fantastic team any way you want to look at it. So let's see what they do. They have their first match against Croatia. That's a big test for England. We'll know soon.
We'll know soon, in 10 days. Austin, I want to thank you for your time. That's where the cookie crumbles tonight. That's the end of the show. I want to thank you for your time. We'll do this again later in the week.
Thank you so much, Yemi. Always a delight to be on the show.
All right, that's a wrap on the show tonight. We had, of course, Bamba Akoni. We've had Uche Eke. We've had Austin Okona join us on the show. We hope it was worth your while. We're back here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.